This is Press TV's Top 5. Thanks very much for joining us. Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has defended Tel Aviv's month-long war on Gaza, which killed nearly 1,900 people, many of them children.
I think it was justified. I think it was proportional. And that doesn't in any way take away from the deep regret we have for the loss of a single civilian. We've gone to extraordinary lengths to avoid civilian casualties. Hamas has gone to extraordinary lengths to ensure that they have civilian casualties, as you've just seen.
Netanyahu also thanked the U.S. for its support throughout the offensive against Gaza. He referred to the $225 million the U.S. recently gave Israel in aid to replenish ammunitions used against Palestinians. Netanyahu's comments come as the UN has condemned Israel for deliberately targeting civilians in Gaza. The UN has said that Israel knew the world body schools in Gaza were housing civilians, but pounded them repeatedly. To discuss that further, we're now joined by Professor William Cook, who is a professor at the University of La Verne, who is joining us live now via Skype from Seattle. Professor Cook, thanks very much for joining us. Now, how do you react to Netanyahu's statement? You know, it seems that he lives in this parallel universe where Israel's actions are proportionate and that Hamas puts civilians in the line of fire on purpose.
I would say that the world reaction to that belies what he is claiming. And the only addition I would make to that is that it shouldn't be Israel alone. It is the United States complicit with Israel in its invasion of Gaza. We have, as you noted at the beginning, supported Netanyahu and his IDF with weaponry that we had there, and all they had to do was to open the gates to get it. That is, without question, a use of American taxpayers' dollars to support a war which the world has denounced as absolutely untenable, amoral, and beyond the pale of any kind of understanding of the conduct of people from one to another, much less of a neighbor.
So, Professor, as a U.S. academic yourself, I'm wondering then, how do you see the future working out then? Do you see the United States finally coming onto the right side of history, or do you see that it will always stand by Israel regardless?
I think the comment that Obama made about the unacceptable viciousness of the attack was probably something that came from his gut as he has watched this country destroy a people without thinking out how it is that it could have been done. If tunnels exist, they have an exit. If the exit is in Israel, as Israel claims, they need not go into Gaza to find the tunnels. It would have been cheaper, and it would have been just as effective for them to destroy them in Israel property or outside the borders of what they have made Israel property, and not to invade and destroy human beings at the same time. America's responsibility here should not be overlooked. I would look at the future and see that what has been visualized by the world is an Israel that is acting in a demented state. I wrote about this on the 20th of this month of July. And it is a dementedness that comes from two sources. One is the government itself, which is not a democratic government. It is, in fact, in existence because it is a religious supported government of the far right. Netanyahu must, in order to keep his position, play to these people. And he is himself somewhat encrusted with an arrogance that comes with superior power. What he does not see is that by deceiving the Israeli people, by claiming that Hamas caused the abduction and the death of the 3 Israeli teens, He is responsible for making a nation rise in vengeance and anger against a people and a government in Gaza that, in fact, was not responsible. Inside of the Israeli government and inside of the far-right settlers who are rabid in their acceptance of their right to the land lies the seed of Israel's eventual self-destruction, because they have, and they did it this month, announced to the world, this is the way we treat people. And it was devastating and horrific. And the world therefore looked at it and realized this is not a friend of America. It is not a friend of anyone in the world.
On that note, unfortunately, I will have to interrupt you, Professor. I do apologize for that, but it seems the time has gotten the best of us. But of course, we do sincerely appreciate your opinions. That was Professor William Cook speaking to us live via Skype from Seattle.